Hey guys, what's up? I am speaking to Desi Bolin, and we're talking about systems, how to have systems in your business so that you don't have the burnout, right? Because one of the biggest things I think that happens to all of us, right? Especially for those of us who are in leadership or anything like that. So we're, VPs and CEOs and managers and directors and whatever have you. And we work for corporate for a very long time. And there's nothing wrong with corporate if you like that. Believe me, I like both. Okay. But one thing that happens is we get burnt out. But then we go and say, okay, I want to take all of my knowledge now and I want to create my own coaching and consulting business, which is what I do, right? I help people build out their coaching and consulting businesses. Now, what happens? Most people go into it thinking that they don't have to work and that everything's going to be easy. And that's not the truth. You need systems in place, and systems will help you not get burned out. Okay. And that's what Desi's going to talk to us about. So I cannot wait for you to hear this episode. Here we go. What's up, y'all? This is Neena Perez, and this is Straight Talk, No Sugar Added. And I am so excited to be here again with all of you, with like close to or almost at 400 episodes in. And I cannot believe the amazing community that we have building, but also the momentum we are building. Like, we are over 100,000 downloads. I mean, we have, I think we're like 1.5% podcast to listen to in the country or something. It's like insane. And it's all because of you and the amazing human beings that I bring onto this show to grow, challenge, and transform your thinking. So I found one for y'all. Okay. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's do this. This is Desi. Desi is a dynamic human being, and she is from Virtually Sourced Solutions LLC and the master of turning efficiency into an art. Okay. So Desi is not just about, being an author, which she is. She's a published author and a course creator, but she is really about igniting your brand and having it stand out. She wants to impact lives, wants you to impact lives, and to set like a new industry standard. And I freaking love that, right? So balancing and demanding and entrepreneurship, all of that is really something that we are all here to do. We're trying to elevate our game. So I want to make sure that you really welcome Desi to the show. I want to bring on her philosophy, because her philosophy is your business is your opportunity to make an indelible mark on the world. And so I'm so glad you're here. Desi, what's up? Welcome to Straight Talk.
Neena, it is an absolute pleasure. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm so glad you're here too. I love what you're doing in the world, and I love everything I just said, but I only said a little bit because I want to get to know you. So Desi, who are you, girl? Who are you?
There are a lot of layers to that onion. I can just say that. Oftentimes, what's more important than who I am is why I do what I do. And for me, that's letting you live in your genius without worrying about the details. It's my belief of wanting to make sure that everyone has the support they need, that everyone has the right people in the right places at the right time to get where they want to go and accomplish what they want to accomplish. And aside from that, I mean, first and foremost, I'm a mom. I'm a homeschool mom. I have two kids, 9 and 6, and I started this company when my daughter was 5 months old, and it was really a turning point for me to realize, because I live in a very, very small town. I live in a town of only 45 people. My family makes up 1/8 of the population.
Wow.
And to get a corporate job, I would have to move or be away from the house 12 hours a day. And I didn't want that. I didn't want that for my family. So I created the company. I just started one day. It was a couple of days after my birthday. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to get my business license. I'm just going to go for it. And it's really evolved into what it is now, which is, over 64 different services we do. We have over 60 clients. We have worked in over 64 different industries, and we're very, very strategy focused. So we start with the end in mind, and we build the systems and processes to get you there faster.
That's really great. Let's I want to dive in a little bit where you live and all that kind of stuff because that's that is so unusual. That is so
It is.
unusual. I mean, especially right. I feel like okay, so I live in Texas, right? And I live right on the border of Austin. And what I'm seeing is nothing but construction buildings upon buildings upon buildings being built on this beautiful farmland. And it breaks
Yeah.
my heart every time I see that. But I say all that to say that I didn't even know there were still towns with only 45 people in them.
We didn't either. We didn't either. It was a spontaneous move that we made 8 years ago because originally I'm from California.
Oh,
I
okay.
was born and
Big
raised in
change.
California.
Big change.
Yeah, it was a big change and it was very spontaneous. It was not planned.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I've been with my husband since we were 13, so we're middle school and high school sweethearts.
Wow.
And my son was about a year and a half, and I really just didn't want him growing up around all the drugs and the gangs and the violence. And we decided to take a month-long trip through 8 different states. We found a house in 2 weeks. We closed on it in 2 weeks, and we moved a month later.
That's so cool. And was it that? I mean, what were you doing? If you don't mind me asking, what were you doing before that? Before you decided to move, change your whole entire freaking life?
I know it was a big change. Before I moved up here, I had been in corporate leadership for 10 years. I was promoted to management when I was 17. So I've always kind of been a leader of sorts.
Hmm.
I've got 10 years of experience in the corporate field too.
I love it. I love it. And I love that you did that too, right? Because it says a lot about you, Desi. It says that you are willing to do what it takes, right? It also says that you're not afraid. Like you're really okay with facing things and overcoming them. It says a lot about people. It really does, right? Like
Yeah, it really does.
even though while we're doing it, we may have fears, of course, and we may feel like insecure, of course. But there's still something in you that drives you to move forward in that, right? So that says a lot. So I wanted to touch on, since you talked about it a little bit, about how you ended up shifting your whole life from corporate into going to being more. Do you have like a homestead? Do you have like your own little?
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah, we have
Okay.
32 acres now.
Oh, okay. So not a little homestead. Got it. That's why
A
there's only
big
45
homestead.
people. Desi owns all the land. That's why there's only 45 people. Desi, that's hilarious. Okay, so all right, so you moved, you homeschool your
Mhm.
kids, which by the way, bravo to you, Desi, because I truly, honestly believe so much in homeschooling, especially in these last maybe 10 years or so. And I
Yeah,
think that that is phenomenal. Good for you. Good for you.
thank
So
you.
tell me how you then got into doing this, because the best part about this, and I'm sure you feel this way too, is that you're home, that you get to be home. You
Yeah,
get to take care of your 32 acres because I'm sure there's a bunch of animals and stuff living on there. And you get to be home with the kids, right? So
yeah.
tell me a little bit about that journey. What was that moment for you? What happened there? Why did you get into having your own business?
Well, I kind of alluded to this already. I've always been in a leadership type of position, and I always felt friction in the corporate environment because it was me trying to follow someone else's rules when it may
Mhm.
not have been the best system, the best process that they should have been following. And oftentimes that was the case, yet I was just an underling in that situation. So my recommendations weren't really taken into account. And
Yeah.
because I've built the company, yeah, I'm standing in my power. I'm standing in the fact that tech cowers in front of me. It does not like me to get my hands on it. Strategy
Love that.
is my nickname is the Desi button. I am the Desi button. Everyone that is in my sphere comes to me for the tech problems, and I love that. I love being that source of answers
Yeah.
and solutions, right? So the strategy piece is a big piece for me.
Mhm.
And I love what you said about homeschooling too. And what's even more interesting is we're not just homeschooling, we're unschooling. So it's child-led learning.
Even better.
They're
Even
letting
better.
learn and
Even
on
better.
their own schedule. It's not a forced curriculum. It's not a forced schedule of, hey, you got to
Mm,
be in school 8 hours a day. No, it's when they want
mm.
to learn.
That's really good, right? That's almost teaching them as well to be the CEO of their own lives. And that's a
Yes.
lot of things that we don't do, right? Especially in school. School is to build you to be a factory worker. That's well known. We all know that. They put you in a box for 8 hours and they expect you to follow the rules and everybody has to be the same. And kids are always getting in trouble because they're not the same. We're all so freaking different. It's
Oh
crazy,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
And
I'm kind of an overachiever. I graduated with a 4.25 GPA, so
mhm, mhm.
I fit into that box. But now that I'm out in the real world, I don't know where I would be if I didn't go into that
Yeah,
box.
yeah, yeah. That's really cool though. That's a really cool concept and a cool idea. I love the unschooling because I think your kids are going to be really prepared for the world.
Oh,
Really
my daughter
prepared.
is a mini CEO.
Yep. Yeah, she already is of her own
Yep.
life, right? Because you're giving them their own schedule and their own way of learning and their own thing. And that's going to really help her thrive. I really believe that. And I think as entrepreneurs, though, we could take a lot from that. We could take a lot from that, right? The unschooling, the taking your mind off of the things that everybody tells you it has to be done this way. And as
Absolutely.
soon as you pull yourself out of that, you start to realize how much more you have to offer the world than you thought you did. You know, one of the things that happened in my journey, I don't know if this ever happened to you, Desi, but when I first started coaching, maybe like 15 years ago, whatever, it was constantly people telling me what to do or how to show up, you know? And once I said, you know what, screw you guys, I'm going to do this my way. Then I started to flourish because then I realized it's
Yeah.
just going to be done the way Neena does it. And that's it. I'm so done. Right. So I love that you're doing that, Desi. That's freaking cool. I love that. I know this is, it's not about your business, but it is your business and I love it. So
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that has happened to me. I think it's safe to say that it's happened for every entrepreneur that's out there.
yeah.
Every person that has a business, you kind of go through that. And in some instances, it is challenging. It is very challenging to run a business. And
Right.
nobody ever tells you that. Nobody prepares you for it.
Right.
I remember a while back, I had a miscarriage and I went through a big period of burnout. I just didn't have
Mhm.
the motivation for getting anything done. And I'm talking from my scars now, right? They're not open wounds for me because I've given myself the time and the space to do that. And in a
Love
corporate
it.
job, you can't do that.
Yeah.
If you walk away, your job is not safe.
Yeah. Yeah. That is
And
so true.
having the freedom to really to let your clients know that you need time and space, and 99.9% of the time they're gonna understand,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
be supportive. And a big part of it for me is I am all about relationships. I'm relationships first, so every single one of my clients is also my friend.
Mhm. Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot it
Yeah.
plays a big part in them being given permission to support me and me to support them
So
in that
true.
role.
Don't you feel that that works better too? I mean, I've spoken to other entrepreneurs that are like, "Oh no, they're my clients. They're not my friends." And I'm like, "But they okay, maybe I'm a little bit different because I'm also relationship driven, right? So to me,
Mhm.
my clients never leave me. Like they never leave me. You know, I'm always like,
Exactly.
you're ready now. You're good, and they still come back. Nina, can I still, stay in your program or can I stay with you guys or can I stay every week because they love it so much and I'm good with it. I'm good with it, right? So
I
Desi here, I want to
I absolutely think so, and I think making friendships, if you guys run into an issue and it's a hard split, yeah, it's going to be a little bit tougher.
yeah.
And more often than not, you're just going to build an everlasting friendship, and they're going to
Yeah.
stick with you,
Yeah,
as you just
exactly.
stated, Nina.
Yeah,
It's absolutely true.
yeah. They stick with you, and the truth is, and I think you alluded to this a little earlier, is doing this alone, right? The burnout that happens by doing this alone, and I
Hmm.
think that's the magic of where you come in. So I want to touch into that. I want to touch into because you have so many services, right? I want you to talk to right now the aspiring entrepreneur that's looking right now to start their own thing, right? So they're ready to start their own thing and they're getting BS'd by so many things out there. I feel bad for them actually, Desi, because I fell
Yeah,
for that a couple of times. But it's hard for me when I'm talking to a woman who's going to be joining my program and she's so hurt, right? So her wounds are still open. They're not scarred
yeah,
yet like yours, right? They're still open. And I have to kind of talk them through the fear of that because they've been promised so many lies, right?
yeah.
So as your services are here in the world and you are serving entrepreneurs, why don't you give us like a few things that are essential for
Oh,
somebody who is
oh, that's a
starting?
list.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Just do it. Just pick a couple of the ones that come to mind first. Like if you were starting your coaching business right now, what do you wish you would have known, or what services do you wish you would have had?
CRM, hands down, the most important customer
Yes,
relationship management platform. Absolutely essential as you're starting your business, not later, now.
I couldn't agree more.
Um, Second thing is just really outline your strategy. Outline your strategy for what you want to get done. Write down your goal and start with that and work backwards. What are the
Yep.
steps you need to implement in order to get there?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I operate. That's how I get a lot of my I have 2 clients who have been with me for multiple years, and both of them are 7 figures now.
Yeah, yeah. And those 2 tips that you just gave are exactly what I talk about all the time because I think it's, one of the things when I speak to every entrepreneur has his own way of approaching things, which is awesome, right? Because we should have different ways of approaching things. I
Mm,
believe in the CRM idea though, very much so. That has helped me so much with communication and automation and funnels and
mhm.
all of that kind of stuff. So, Desi, break down
Yeah.
a little bit of what you do. Tell us what you do so somebody who's listening can say, "Oh, I need that." So let's talk
Oh,
a little bit of
well,
what you do. I know you do about 120 things, so just pick a few.
yeah. Well, if you had talked to me at the end of last year, it would have been 144. We're
Oh
down to
my god.
64 right now, but,
Yay.
um so I cover the 5 main buckets of business. I do administration, finance, operations, human resources, branding. We also do in-person event production and live virtual event production. I also do high level projects.
Okay.
High level would mean market research, customer satisfaction surveys, um, pitch decks, tech stacks, all of those really high level things that will get you to scale quickly. Um, we do all of that, and there's subsections of each one of those, but we are out to support as many people as we can with as much as we can.
That's really great. So, for those who are listening that are probably new to this space, what's a CRM? How does that benefit them?
Customer relationship management is what it stands for. And
Mhm.
a CRM is phenomenal because you're able to house the lifeblood of your business in one place
Mhm.
and have everything feeding into it. For me, I know and a lot of my clients, there are tons of CRM platforms out there. To name a few, we've got Go High Level, Kartra, HubSpot. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. There's a
Yeah.
ton. So, what I would really caution people here with is you need to take a look at what your business needs and what platform is going to best suit those needs. For me, I use Go High Level. I love it. I actually use Panda
Me
Dash.
too. Me too. I love it.
It's amazing. I've got my website completely built on there. I've got landing pages in funnels. I've got tons of automations. So it's hands off at certain points. My onboarding process completely hands off from me.
Yeah, I love
It's
that.
it's all built into the automation. But you've got your opportunities pipeline. You've got a way to email and text message out of the platform and make it automated. Um, you can send documents for signing through the platform, and
Yeah.
uh, it's really just an all-encompassing type of thing, and I love it because and I've actually migrated probably about 8 different people to Panda Dash right now because
Oh, Panda Dash. Okay, I thought you were talking
Panda
about Go High
Dash is
Level. Okay.
is yes, it's the sub account of Go High Level, but it is Go
Okay.
High Level.
Okay. Got it. No, that's good. And I'm glad that you mentioned that because, you saying all of those things can be very intimidating. At least it was for me in the
Mm,
beginning, right? Because that
yeah,
is a lot. It's a lot of tech. It's a lot
it's
of
a
things to
lot.
know. Automation is not as easy as it sounds. You need somebody putting in like the messages, and if they don't answer, do this, and if they answer, do that, and they email into it's a beast. It is
It
a
is.
beast. It's a beast.
It
But that's why
is.
you need you, right? That's why we need you, Desi. That's why we need you. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we work hyper efficiently too, so something that will take someone an hour or more to do usually only takes us 10 or 20 minutes.
that's really great. So tell
So,
me about that though. Tell me about that process. So I know that a lot of people who listen to the show are like aspiring entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs, like they're getting into the game. a lot of thought leaders and stuff listen to the show, which is freaking awesome. I know because they talk to me a lot on email and social media and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you're probably talking to your ideal client right now. So tell me what that looks like if somebody's listening and are like, I need to get my shiznick together because I got my email over here. I got I got this
Mhm.
CRM over here, but it doesn't do that. So I got to go over here for that. I mean, I'm telling you, Desi, I had so many
That's the problem.
subscriptions. Yeah, I had so many subscriptions. I was like, I'm going broke just on subscriptions alone. All right,
Yeah.
Desi. So somebody who's listening to you, what does your onboarding process look like? Like, if they want to contact you, if they want to talk to you, if they want to see
Yeah.
what you are actually doing, tell us that.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I just said, we got the website completely redesigned. It's virtuallysourced.com. Super easy. Um, a ton of information is there. You'll see a full list of services. You can even put your deposit down for the first for a package if you want to go on retainers. But a lot of times, if you want to, just have a conversation with me and see if it'll be a fit, talkwithdesi.com. It's super easy to book on my calendar.
That's
Um,
great.
and I'm happy to walk through some strategies, some best practices and benchmarks that I've seen and gotten from my experience throughout all of the industries and all of the years. But yeah, we make custom packages too. We also do per project. So if you're not in a position where you're able to do retainer,
That's
and
good.
we would absolutely have a conversation with you and see, this is what I would tell you for this. And if it's a go, then we'll go ahead and do it. And we make it easy. And one important thing to note is we don't gouge on pricing. We essentially cover our costs, and that's it.
Yeah, that's really good. What would you say to someone who's listening right now who is maybe a little bit hesitant because they don't really know what they're doing or how to start or whatever? Because I think one of the things I've noticed, even with the CEOs that I work with, is the intimidation on tech or the intimidation on being
Mm-hmm.
online. So I want you to kind of ease them up a little bit, right? So just if you
Yeah.
can speak to that person right now, like what would be like the first thing you would say to them about either contacting you or starting this online space? Like, what would you say to them?
I would say, one, starting in the online space, take the leap. You never know where it's
Yes.
going to take you. And
Yes.
if it doesn't work out, then you can always go back and do corporate jobs. But take the leap. Don't hesitate. And I speak from personal experience here. I've hesitated before, and it's cost me. Um, it's
Yeah.
cost me in the growth of my company. But if you don't take the leap, you'll never know.
Yep. Yep. It costs
And
you a lot, doesn't it? It costs you
it costs you
time.
a lot.
It costs you money. It costs you clients. It costs you
Mind
so
space.
much. Yeah, it really
I
does.
mean, it really, really does. And two, if you have questions about starting or where to start in what you're doing, and trust me, I want to support as many people as possible to impact in the world as many people as possible. I love the clients I work with. Like I said, they're friends, but they're up to amazing things in the world. This painting behind me, painted in Africa, and what I purchased it for, it went to free child slaves in Ghana, and that is one of my
It's
clients.
amazing. Oh, wow, that's
I think
amazing.
he's donated probably $30,000 in the last year and a half to that charity. So if you have questions, just book a call with me on talkwithdesi.com and we'll have a quick chat. And if we need to go longer, we'll book another call. But usually in 15 minutes, I can pretty much give you some recommendations and advice and where I think you should go.
That's really great. And I think that's one of the things I want to make sure that everybody who's listening understands, Desi, right? Is that it isn't about strong arming you into a package or a deal
Mm-mm.
or whatever. But I think I had to say that, and the reason I had to say that is because that is been the conversations I've been having these last couple of weeks, right? Is people
Mm-hmm.
that have been strong armed into other programs that are feeling really defeated, and
Yeah.
sadly, it's happening more than it should be happening. That's really sad. Yeah.
It is, and it is sad. It breaks my heart when I hear
Oh, yeah.
those
Me
stories
too.
because it's. And I have a really good piece of advice that I'll share in just a second, but it's really hard to overcome that. It breaks my heart when I hear stories like in my space. I'm a strategic virtual assistant. I get lumped in with all the other virtual assistants and everything
Right.
that everyone ever did wrong to them in the
Right.
virtual assistant space.
Same as a
It's
coach. Same.
overcoming that.
Yeah.
And my biggest piece of advice for you is don't worry about sales conversations, because honestly, sales conversations are just conversations. Be
Exactly.
okay with letting the conversation go where it's going to go. If you make the sale, fantastic. If you don't make the sale, great. You made a new friend.
Right, exactly. Thank you for saying that, and that is so freaking true. And I try to tell my clients all the time because they're always like, "But I don't know how to sell." You don't have to learn how to sell. If I wanted a piece of gum and you had a piece of gum, would you offer me the piece of gum? They're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's sales. You're selling me the piece of gum." You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? They're like, "Oh." I'm like, "How many times have you sold a good movie to someone?" You know what I'm saying? How many times have you sold
Yeah.
a good restaurant to someone? I think we overcomplicate something that's super simple. It's really about relationships, and I'm pretty sure you're big on this, is authenticity and being true.
Absolutely.
Come authentic. That's all.
Come
Right?
authentic and also be transparent.
Yeah.
Don't try to hide anything, because the person on the other side of the phone is going to know that you're trying to
Yeah.
hide something. They can
Yeah.
pick up on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm completely transparent. If you want to know the pricing of my stuff, I will tell you. If you want to know what I can and
Same.
can't do, I will tell you.
Yeah. Mine is on my application. As soon as you apply, you know. That's on purpose because if you say, okay, I really want to work with Neena, you're going to fill that out. If you're
Yeah,
not sure, you're not going to fill that out. And that's okay too. But I want to be transparent with you because when we get on that call, I don't want that stuff to be in the way. I want it to be about you and I.
absolutely.
What do you need? How do we get this happening? Right. And so I love that you're doing that, Desi. And I wish more people would do that. I wish more people would do that instead of not doing that, right?
I
Instead
mean,
of giving you
I
that
think
phone call and then
the world would be so much
so
different
much. It's so much better.
if just a few early adopters adopted that and took it into
Yeah.
practice, but it really is so important.
It really, really is, Desi. And I want to thank you for like stopping in, sharing this with my people, and also, telling them, listen, you can work with me on a package deal if you're not ready to fully go in. I can automate your system. I can, build out your funnel. I can help you with, executive virtual assisting work if you need it. So there's a lot of stuff that you're offering, right? And I think
Yeah,
that can make somebody breathe a little bit and kind of just say, okay, maybe I just need Desi for X. Okay, then call Desi and find out, right?
yeah.
Because otherwise, you're not going to know. And then what you're going to do is you're going to be emailing me a year later and be like, Nina, I still haven't done shit with my business because you're not moving. Stop being stuck, people. You're not actually stuck. You're afraid. There's two different things. We always say, I feel stuck. No, it's fear. Something comes in to stop you from doing what it is you really want to do. Right. And so with like, there's a block there that you just like, I want to do it, and then fear comes in because you overthought it. You did too much of a scenario in your head and you made it bigger than it needed to be. Literally, Desi said, get on a phone call, chat, 2 seconds. I'll let you know. Like,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, Nina, you're hitting on something and you're bringing it up for me again. You're represencing it. Something one of my coaches taught me was say yes and take a step.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter
exactly.
where you are or what you're trying to do, say yes and take a step.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter how big or how small the step, but take a step.
Right. Right. I always tell my girls that too, or my women that, because they'll be like, oh, I can't. I say, okay, I want you to reframe that quickly. Go. And then they reframe it. I'm like, you got 3 seconds, 3, 2, 1. And then they just go do it. They're like, oh my God, I'm gonna go do it. I said, okay, go do it. You got 3 seconds, go do it. Because it's not as scary as we think it is. And everything in life is, right, Desi? I mean, it had
Yeah.
to be, scary to have so much land. How are you gonna take care of it? Scary to get your first animals, like scary to move out of California. All of that stuff is scary, but you do it anyway. And that's the point. You do
Yeah.
it anyway, even though you don't know, because you really don't know. You don't know what you don't know. Right.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really grateful for our conversation. I love the unschooling thing. I'm going to pitch that to my children because they're having babies. I'm going to pitch that to them. They are
Oh,
already
please do.
on
I mean, it's
board. Yeah.
amazing. It's amazing what they're doing. Like I said, my son is 9. He's really into building and he loves math. So he's trending towards engineering, architecture. That style. And my daughter is a mini CEO. She pretends to talk to my clients all the time.
I love it.
This is, and it's giving them the freedom to be creative. It's
Yeah.
amazing. And they don't really have rules for it and how you tell your district that you're doing that, but
Right.
we're figuring it out.
Yeah, you know what, Desi? That's all you can do. But I know that this is a much better road than the road they would have taken in a public school. I'm just saying,
Mhm.
that's just my opinion, guys. You can love it or leave it. Anyway,
I feel
Desi,
it.
yeah, before I let you go, Des, I really want you to give people information again on where they can find you. I know that you gave us your like link really quick, but I really want you to give it to us. So give us your links and all of that and where people can follow you. Do you have social media presence
Oh,
yourself
of
or
course I do.
okay, great. So give us all that.
Okay, I'll give it to you. Virtuallysourced.com is
Mhm,
the website. If you want to book a quick 15-minute chat with me for a strategy call, it's talkwithdesi.com.
mhm.
Super easy. I'm also on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and you can find me by typing virtually sourced in all of them.
Okay, beautiful. Well, Des, thank you so much for taking the time to be here with me. And I'm seriously, thank you for pouring into my community. I know that there's a lot of people that need these kind of services. So that's why I wanted to have you on this show. And I really appreciate your philosophy and the way you look at life, the way you do things. So, really grateful for you. Thank you for being here.
You're absolutely welcome. It was my pleasure.
So much fun. Guys, I told you, right? Good human on the planet with a lot of acres, owning the whole land. That's why nobody lives there. So just make sure you connect with Desi. I'm going to make sure to link all of her information below. Go on there and check it out, because you should not be afraid anymore. So if you have somebody who can actually help you kind of structure and have that in your business, which by the way, you need. Okay. Don't think that coaching, consulting, all this kind of stuff is just showing up every day on camera. That's not how this works. There's a lot of behind the scenes that need to happen. And so for you to make this happen, you're going to need a CRM. You're going to need a whole system in place. And once you got your system in place, I promise you business gets easier. Like it's not like it's going to go like super fast, but it will get easier because you know now where everything is, where everything is
Mhm.
landing, who is talking to you, who isn't, all that kind of stuff. Please take my advice. Make sure that you get the structures in place for your business. It will help you thrive. I promise. All right. This is Neena Perez. I love you guys so much. Until next time.